Annabelle as always. So we are talking about a horror movie. I know, first horror movie since I finished my horror binge and everything that I didn't actually film in October. So movie we're talking about is the first Final Destination from 2000 or whatever. I may or may not be doing a franchise review of this. I've been kind of debating on if I want to do a whole franchise review. I don't know, but after between like 3 and 4, I'm kind of like, I don't even know how much I'm gonna really have to say. I mean, even the first one, I'm kind of like, I have some stuff to say, but like honestly, I'm not sure. I might, who knows, whatever. But let's go ahead and talk about the first one. Like I said, came out about like 2000-ish. Has Devon Sawa, Ali Larter, Sean William Scott, and of course Tony Todd, who sprouts up occasionally throughout the series. Like, I know he's not in every single one of these, but I know he's in a few of the sequels, including this one, obviously. So yeah, this is one where this was actually originally going to be an X-Files episode back in the day, and at certain points, especially towards the beginning, you could really kind of see how it was being set up as possibly an X-Files episode and everything. I think it would have been pretty interesting, but like, I don't know how much they would have been able to fit in, but I mean, then again, it was the X-Files. Like, I think X-Files would have made this work in an episode, and yeah. And I know it was also kind of loosely based on the TWA flight 800 occurring on July 17th, 1996, near the East Morges, New York, that was headed to Rome with a stopover in Paris. There was actually, you guys can actually kind of like look this up, but there was an accident and everything, kind of almost similar, where there was I think a class, like a senior class or something, that was going somewhere, obviously to Rome or whatever, and it crashed. There was an accident and pretty much almost everyone died and whatnot. So that was kind of like where the inspiration came from. But I also know too, I believe, I'm not 100% sure if this is completely accurate, but I believe I have heard over the years that the Twilight Zone episode, I think it was 22, the girl who's in like the hospital and she keeps getting these visions of like, this woman, there's room for one more, and then, she leaves the hospital, she's this like starlet or whatever, and she's getting ready to go onto this plane. Stewardess opens the door, and we see it's this lady from her dream saying, "Oh, room for one more," and she like runs off. She's like, "No, I'm not gonna go," and then we see the plane take off, and boom. Like I said, I'm like 99% sure I've heard that this was a sort of an inspiration for this movie. If it's not, like, I'm sorry, I'm just saying, I believe I've heard of it. Plus, too, I mean, now that you see that episode, it's very hard not to kind of connect it with this movie and everything. So, but yeah, so basically, Final Destination, the first one, if you've never heard of it or seen it or whatever, because I know a lot of these really, at least for me, kind of get like jumbled together, with the exception of like the first two and maybe the last one a little bit. But basically, this group of like seniors or whatever are getting ready to go to France for like a trip or whatever. And Devon Sawa's character basically has this premonition of a series of events as they're going onto this plane and everything, of like little things and everything, and then boom, the plane blows up. He then kind of wakes up, he's like, he, obviously was just sleeping, but he wakes up to, and this is how it started in his dream, two girls come up to him, "Hey, can you switch seats?" and blah, blah. He freaks out, so he's going through checking everything that happened in his dream. Everything's happening as it was happening in the dream. He starts saying, "No, we can't go, like, there's something gonna happen, the plane's gonna blow up," and he's escorted off the plane along with a few of the other kids. And of course, the kids that get off, that kind of like unwillingly get off or forced to get off, are pretty upset with him, with the exception of the Ali Larter character, Claire. And she kind of explains later, like, yeah, we didn't really talk or anything in school, but there was something about what he was saying that I believed him, you know, like I believed that he was not making this up. He wasn't like delusional. He wasn't a part of it, but I just felt like there was something that was going to go wrong, and I got off. So of course, you know, they're all upset. They see the plane taken off, and then boom, it blows up, and also shattering the windows. And of course, one of the teachers do actually get off with them, and only one of them went. And of course, obviously, everyone on the plane gets killed. They die and everything. So, and then throughout the movie, we see that the survivors are being picked off one by one. And of course, Devon Sawa kind of puts together of like, oh my god, wait a second, we're dying in the order that we were assigned our seats and everything. And trying to figure everything out. Ali Larter obviously is like kind of the only one who's like, yeah, she kind of thinks like, okay, he's being a little crazy, but there's something about what he's saying in this whole like craziness that she believes. So she kind of is helping him out. They run into Tony Todd's character, who's like this morgue attendant or whatever, and is basically just like, yeah, telling him like, you know, death has a design. You can't stop death. You can't cheat death. You can't do this. And you know, so they, once again, like I said, they're kind of putting everything together and whatnot and everything. But yeah, this first one, I do like that about this, of how, you know, like, yeah, you may have like gotten off the plane and survived and everything, but there's always like death is going to like come back around and catch up with you no matter what, because it's almost like it's trying to make up for the hiccup in time, the ripple in time, and trying to execute certain things. It's almost like a chess game in a way that you're playing with death, you know. So and some of the kills too in this, like this first one, like, you know, I like even the second one, some of the things that they some of the kills and stuff, and like the repercussions of like this first movie, which hopefully I will actually at least do the second movie in the next week or so. But just to kind of see like the different repercussions and everything because of this one event, and it's like kind of showing like things kind of happen for a reason, and it also kind of brings up like, you know, do we really have free will, or is this like, is everything in our life kind of already predetermined? What happens if, you know, we alter like one little moment, you know, in our lives, and how much that will like not only affect our lives, but like other people that we may not even like know about, you know? And so that's something that I do like about this movie. I mean, I know it's not a very like deep movie or anything like, wow, it's gonna change your world, but just little subtle things like that it does make you kind of think of like, like maybe there is already a predetermined, you know, plan for all of us, including our death and everything. And if we cheat death, shit's gonna go south. I'm just saying. But no, I mean, it's a decent one, like I said. And also too, you know, a little thing too that I remember I was kind of reading as I was just looking up some info on this movie. And it's interesting too, because like I said, this was released in like 2000. Following year, obviously, we had 9/11 and everything, the terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers and the Octagon and whatnot. And it's interesting because if this, you know, would have been made after 9/11, if you had someone literally running off a plane going, it's gonna blow up, they would have just canceled the fucking flight and investigated. Like, they would have had like fucking bomb dogs on there, and like people like looking for fucking bombs and shit. Like, there's no way that plane would have fucking taken off. So I guess in a way it's a good thing we actually got this before 9/11. But it's kind of interesting though how like certain events, you kind of look at certain movies like this and you think like, that shit never would have taken off. I'm just saying, that's how much 9/11 has ingrained our freaking society, man. Fuck, almost 20 years later. Rest in peace, though, for all those who did lose their lives, and I'm not even trying to like joke about that, but it just trying to understand of like the like I said, the repercussions that still affects to this day on just like airplanes and stuff. But no, I mean, this is definitely a decent one. Second one I would say is pretty decent as well. It's been a while since I've seen that, but like I said, after that, I even like the last one, the fifth one, where I give it some credit with some of the stuff and kind of like bringing certain things around and everything with the franchise. Like, after 2, it's like they all just kind of blur together for me. It's kind of like that with the Saw movies. It's like, after like the second one, like, they just all blend together. So that's why I'm kind of like, maybe I will do a franchise review. I might not. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of Final Destination in the comments down below. Till next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.